As Israel continues its onslaught on Gaza, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu travelled over 8,000 kilometers to justify the all-out assault. Addressing a joint meeting at the US Congress on Wednesday, PM Netanyahu vigorously defended Israel's military actions in Gaza. Netanyahu praised and thanked Washington for its support and didn't give much indication that this conflict would be drawing to a close anytime soon. However, the Israeli PM faced an increasingly fractured Congress, with Democrats divided over the support for the ongoing war. But Netanyahu showed us that he knows his audience, both in the US Congress and in the country at large. Netanyahu was careful to walk a middle path, thanking both Democrats and Republicans. The Israeli PM thanked Biden for the support after the October 7 attack by Hamas last year, and also praised Trump for supporting Israel's expansionist policies.
I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel after the savage attack on October 7th. He rightly called Hamas sheer evil. He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East to deter a wider war. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in brokering the historic Abraham Accords. I also want to thank President Trump for all the things he did for Israel, from recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, to confronting Iran's aggression, to recognizing Jerusalem as our capital and moving the American embassy there.
Outside the Capitol building, thousands of protesters rallied as Netanyahu spoke, denouncing what they called a genocide unfolding in Gaza. Instead of ignoring the protests happening steps away from his speech, Netanyahu took direct aim at them, calling the demonstrations misguided.
Right now, outside this building, not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
Netanyahu also rejected accusations that Israel was deliberately cutting off food to the people of Gaza. United Nations aid officials say it is Israel that is responsible for most of the obstacles to getting aid to desperate Palestinians. However, Netanyahu said that Hamas was to blame, accusing the militants of depriving their own people, a common refrain from Israeli officials. The most important part of his speech was when he sketched out a vague vision for peace in Gaza. In explaining what life after the war might look like, he said a vision that involved Israeli forces maintaining control over Gaza. Netanyahu said a new Gaza could only emerge if Hamas is defeated. He also emphasized that Israel would only settle for total victory and nothing less.
The day after we defeat Hamas, a new Gaza can emerge. My vision for that day is of a demilitarized and de-radicalized Gaza. Israel does not seek to resettle Gaza, but for the foreseeable future, we must retain overriding security control there to prevent the resurgence of terror, to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel.
To achieve this end, Netanyahu made his pitch to the US legislators and called for the military aid to increase and be delivered more rapidly. But with an increasingly divided House and no truce deal in sight, the road to a new Gaza could be a turbulent one. Bureau Report, India Today Global.